Welcome back to
What's Cracking?
Episode 2. Thank you for supporting us. We're super excited for the love and the support that we've been getting for the very little bit of time that we've been up.
Right.
But
episode 2.
Episode 2. So thank you for that. Like, we see the comments, we see people liking, and continue on the best support that you can give.
And if you guys would do us the honor of following us on YouTube, liking and subscribing, that would really help our page and our podcast grow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So go do that, please. All right.
So let's get to it. Episode 2.
Episode 2.
So we figured we'd bring you guys a trending topic being toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
What is your take on that? You being a female.
First of all, what's the definition of toxic masculinity?
Well, nowadays, a lot of things can be considered toxic.
It can go various ways with that type of topic.
Right.
Because to me, how I take it is, women tend to be more like men than men acting like women nowadays.
Okay.
If that makes sense, that's a toxic masculinity, because now men aren't really masculine the way women perceive men to be nowadays, if that makes sense.
I honestly think that it's more of a just toxic personality in general. Like, I feel like you can be a female and you can be, feminine toxicness or femininity, toxic, whatever, however you say that.
A feminist.
And it's toxic. And you can be a male and it's toxic. I think it has to do with your persona, with your personality, if you're a toxic person in general. I feel like, these guys that are considered toxic masculinity, if you would say, because they protect their family, because they feel like, the woman should be in the home and they should be, the breadwinners.
Right.
And I get that. Like, if that's what they want to do and that's how they want to live, shout outs to them.
Yeah.
It also takes the woman to be in agreement to living that type of way.
Right.
If that's how she believes and that's how she wants to live, and it works for them, then why not? But why should that be considered toxic? Because if for them it works as a unit, why should it matter that, she wants to be submissive, if you may, to her husband? Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong either with a woman being strong and independent.
Right.
And then it also comes to the topic. What do you think about women? Now that I said that, what do you think about the women that are out working and the husband nowadays are the ones that are staying at home?
I mean, it depends on the situation and the person that you're with.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and I can say this from experience, it's like I'm saying, it depends the person that you're with and their mindset.
Right.
And things. If you guys are in a genuine relationship and you guys have a mutual understanding, right, then I feel like, why not? I feel like they're also the parent. Mm-hmm. They also can be the breadwinner, but unfortunately, if it's the reason, it's just my time to pick up that portion, and it's your time to just be with the kid.
But what do you think about husbands that now are staying at home full time, and the wife is who is bringing it? To me, I don't see anything wrong with it if it works for you.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily think that it demasculates him if he feels comfortable with it.
Right.
But I know that there's some men that feel like them being a stay-at-home dad and them having to do the chores that are considered women, or women chores. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
That it makes them not masculine. It makes them feminine. But to me, it's not toxic masculinity. It's not feminine toxic. I don't know how to say toxic toxicity. Yeah. I think it's just a toxic personality in general. If you're a narcissist, if you're with a person who's a narcissist, then that's what it is.
Yeah. And that's why I just say from experience, it just depends who you're with, mm-hmm. to be honest, because now in society, people just give their negative opinions, but it's like it's whatever the relationship is. Mm-hmm. You get me? And from experience, like I had to, you know, get up and go work because number one, what people don't realize nowadays because of feminism, mm-hmm. we are more capable of getting a job first,
right,
and faster,
yes,
than a man is.
And I agree with that. I think that, you know, feminism definitely paved the way for women to have more rights. Mm-hmm. You know, for them to, I don't know about equal pay. Yes, in some industries.
Yeah.
But do I feel that in some instances that they're there yet? No, not completely. Yeah. There's still a gap. But I feel like, you know, feminism has definitely paved the way for the women that want to be independent. And they want to be the breadwinner. And I think that there's nothing wrong with that. But there's also nothing wrong with the women that wants to be the wife, the woman that wants to raise children, the woman that wants to, like they say, be submissive to her husband. I don't see it. I don't see that being
a
wrong.
Bad thing.
Yeah.
It's just it's like I'm like from my experience, like at that time I made more money than him. Mm-hmm. Because I had a career,
right,
and he didn't,
right.
But it wasn't like he wasn't a hard worker or whatever. It just I made more money at that time, and with society being so expensive and the recession and all of that, it's like, you know, well, who's gonna take care of the baby? It just makes sense if I make more money and I can bring more money to the table.
Right. Why not?
Yeah, right. Why not? Like if I see my partner doing way better than me and I'm stuck at home taking care of a kid, they're gonna get jealous. Right. You know, because it's like they feel like they're living their best life and boom, I'm just stuck home taking care of a kid and doing chores.
Right.
You know, so I just feel like it's bittersweet.
Would you ever be with a man that wants you to stay home and wants you to be submissive?
I was married and he wanted that to be. And I did try because as a woman, when you grow up and what they implement into your head is you're the woman of the house. Right. You got to make sure that your kids are good, the house is good, and your man's good. So I tried thinking that, you know, I could do my womanly duties within like 2 months, probably like a month and a half. I was like, yeah, no, this is not for me. Right. I'm sorry. That go in an LGBTQ relationship.
See, when it's a male relationship, you're both guys, so it's like you said, you know, if one happens to be doing better at the time, the other one, you know, is making less. We don't have kids to take care of, so it's like, you know, it just has to do about who makes more at the time. But you have to understand that if you're not the one, you just have to support the person that is, you know, bring it in as much as you can. And do your best part. But I think that gender role about, you know, more money and who should stay home, I think is more of a hetero thing, I would say. You know? I mean, I'm not saying that there's not gay relationships out there that might see that have that balance of like who has more power and who has more push in the relationship because of how much you make. But I feel like in general, it's just, I don't know. I don't know.
I just feel like it goes deeper than that, because if you think about it, there are gay couples out there that adopt kids. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that's true. Transition over to being who they are as a gay person, and they already had baggage from the past and bring kids. So it's like how would they, like, would it be the same thing though?
I mean, in that aspect, now that you say it that way and you put it in that perspective, I would say I can see that happening. I haven't experienced that yet, so I can't really talk on that. And I don't have any friends that have kids. A lot of the gay people I know tend to be single. So I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe I need to experience that a little more.
Or maybe bring somebody.
But talking about you know, that we're in the gay topic, what do you think about transgender in women's sports?
And it's nothing against transgender people, because I love all people. I don't care what you want to be.
Right.
To me, you could be whatever you want to be in this world. As long as it doesn't affect me, then do you, boo.
Right.
You know? But I just feel like there's like a lot of it just gotten like a way too much out of control about the topic.
Okay.
And I feel like when you let dumb people take over control of the topic, it just messes it up for the people that actually are just living their best life as who they want to be.
Right. But in regards to them being in sports,
I just feel like it's unfair, because at the end of the day, whether you're transitioning over, and these are facts,
right?
Whether you're transitioning over to a woman, right? You're emotionally a woman. Your look is physically a woman, but physically like a woman, you could never be a woman.
Right.
Your what's it called?
Your structure, your
can never
organs,
be a woman.
Right.
Even if you had plastic surgery, you can never be a woman. You cannot endure having a baby.
Right. And you know what? I kind of agree with that. If you're gonna want someone to be comfortable with your views and your beliefs and the way that you want to live, you should also see how they feel, because at the end of the day, women that are women, like, well, that are not trans women, right? They also have a right to speak on how they feel. Like, are they going to feel comfortable with, you know, even though I know that a real trans woman is not going to be trying to be perverted or trying to be looking at other women another way.
Right.
That's just the sick people.
Exactly.
Then it comes to the term of them also sick individuals using this topic as a way to be able to go into women's bathrooms. I also see that point. But then this came from a trans person themselves, where they said that they also agree where they will never, because they can't have a baby, they can't menstruate, you know, they can't do the things that are naturally of a natural born woman.
Exactly. And
this is not to offend anybody.
Yeah.
Myself, again, I'm gay. I'm part of that community, and I have friends that are trans, and nothing against them, but I just feel like
it's too much. You know,
I think I feel like they deserve to be heard, because there's a lot of discrimination against them, and that always I'm against. So I'm gonna make that clear. But I feel like when it comes to topics of like them in sports, it's not the same. And this came from an actual trans woman. They said no matter how much they take their medications to become, I don't know exactly what it is. I'm sorry that I'm not as educated in what I think it's called estrogen. I think it's estrogen, right? They're still gonna have that strength of a man. You know, no matter what.
A man is always gonna be stronger than a woman.
Exactly.
Faster than a woman. And it's just proven. So it's like you can't beat science. You feel me? Science is what helped you transition.
Right.
So it's like there's facts. So it's like I just feel like when you don't, unless you have facts and proof that a man can physically be a woman.
I don't think
biologically a woman.
No, because you will. Again, I'm not saying that their feelings are not valid, because I feel like if you feel who you want to feel, like that's what it is. I'm not saying that your feelings are wrong, but in regards to your biological makeup, you're gonna be what you were born, whether you
want to believe it or not.
Right.
Exactly. Like again, do you, boo?
Do you? Yeah.
Do you live your best life?
Let's clap for the ones that are living their best life, that are
like
doing.
You know, do you? I love people that come out and embrace who they want to be.
Right.
You could be a freaking unicorn. Do you?
Yep.
You know, as long as it doesn't affect me, I don't care what you want. I don't look at the outside. I look at the person. So it's like, you know, but I just do believe it's a bit too much when they go into like saying things like that. And I get somewhat why women are like now like in that topic, like
I feel like there's a lot of women out there that feel strong
as
about
women we fought so hard over the centuries to get the little bit of things that we have.
Right.
This is a woman's thought. Mm-hmm. For a man.
Yeah.
To come in and take it all again.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And then moms aren't really appreciated because we go through mental health. We go to physical health after enduring a baby. Mm-hmm. That for a man to just come in and make it seem like, oh, you know, I can do this and I can be this. Mm-hmm. It's sad. It's sad because it's like, you know, we don't care whatever you want to be.
Right.
But it's like we fought centuries of this to just get to where we at and not even.
You don't want to be put
overlooked
by a trans. They're getting more attention than a woman does.
Yeah.
And you know, that's one thing I've seen, and I'm sorry, but I think this is a toxic trait, and not all trans people do this, but I've seen this where some trans women think that they're better than real women, and they go out of the way to like kind of go after them. And I feel like that's kind of like an oxymoron, because how are you trying to attack something that you're trying to become, you know, or something not trying to become, because some of them they are, mm-hmm. you know, inside how they feel. So it's like, to me, it's a kind of an oxymoron. I feel that that's a toxic trait.
Yeah. And not only that, but there has been incidents around the U.S., you know, trans women fighting women.
Yeah.
And it's like...
And now they call them fish. Like, what do you think about that term? Like, you'd be considered fish to them. Like, do you think that's derogatory, or do you think...
What do you mean by fish? I've never heard that.
So, I was actually watching another podcast, and mm-hmm. A trans referred to women as fish, right? And I guess that's what they call them fish. Do you kind of guess why?
No.
You guys call fish?
No.
Well,
I mean, I have a vagina, so it could be that.
You are on the right way. So I guess that's the reason why you guys are called fish. And do you find that as an insult, or do you don't think anything of it?
Like I said, I'm very open-minded. Right. So it's like, okay, yeah, I got a fish, and she's swimming. Do you got a fish?
Just keep swimming.
You know, my fucking shit's like Dory, waiting for the fucking Shark Tank. Talking some hoo-ha. Come on now. Right. Like, I don't, but it's just me. Like, I just look at I don't let the stupid things faze me.
Right.
And I feel like the people that do let that faze them, I just feel like they're just as the stupid people answering stupid stuff.
Right.
You get me? Because don't meet the person that's acting out to their level, because you're just gonna look as stupid as them. Mm-hmm. And fish is just a word. Like, is it really gonna kill you?
Right.
You know? So it's like, as long as they're not calling me no type of messed up word,
right? Like
the BITCH or things like that.
They're trying to come for you in a way that it's negative.
Dude, fish away. Fish away.
Oh God. Yeah, but I feel like this is like a complicated topic. That's like
it's very broad.
It is, and we don't want to offend anybody. Again, like,
these are just opinions, not facts.
We're coming from a good place.
Yeah, we're very open to listening to other people's and what they have to say.
And if you have your own opinion, comment below and let us know what you think.
Yeah.
And again, we don't want no negative comments or any hate. It's all love here, and we just want to, continue the discussion in the comments. So if you want to tell me how you feel about that. We're definitely open to listening and interacting with you
and learning, because maybe just because we're talking and saying these things doesn't mean that we know it all. Like, I'm open to hearing other people's opinions and what they know and knowledge that they can share.
That we ain't trying to get canceled over
right.
this. We just started.
You're done. But for real, like, we're always open to hearing the comments down below. What do you think? How do you feel about the topic? Again, this is not this is not to strike a specific thing,
But all that aside, right? What do you think about cancel culture? Actually, what is your take on that? Because that's a big thing now. It's like, you don't agree with my opinions, I'm gonna cancel you, and a group of people then they gang up on you, and then you're canceled. What do you think about that?
I mean, it depends. Is it like social media wise?
Yeah, social media. It could be like, if you're like a public figure, you might lose jobs. You get blacklisted. If you're a celebrity, you might not be asked to do certain movies, certain shows.
It's funny you say that, because I think that's what happened to this white kid that does YouTube. He went to Tokyo or Japan, and in Japan,
you know his name?
Oh my God, he does boxing now.
Okay.
I forgot what he's called, but he does boxing because he was canceled. Well, now he does podcasts.
Yeah,
but he was doing YouTube. He got canceled.
Right.
Because of that, and then he went into boxing because his brother's into boxing.
Oh, you're talking about Logan Paul and
there you go.
Yeah.
Logan Paul. Like, did you see why he got canceled?
I'm not very familiar with him. I know that his brother was trying to fight Floyd Mayweather at one point.
It wasn't that. He got canceled off of YouTube, from what I remember, because he went to I don't remember if it was Japan or Tokyo. I think it was Japan. They have this forest where people go in and never come back out.
Suicide forest. Yes.
And they went down there and they started making fun of it out and about in the streets and recording. And Japan is very strict on their culture and stuff like that. And right after that, he got canceled.
Wow.
He got canceled. Yeah. I mean, Well, I mean, I feel like there's certain people that deserve to be canceled, period. Yeah. That girl from TikTok that she goes to different restaurants and then she has like this, she's always recording and has like this stuck up attitude, like, why can't I record here? But can you just bring me my coffee or whatever? Okay. And fans have literally met her and it's the same vibe.
Yeah, some people need to be canceled, but I feel like, I think cancel culture is kind of like, okay, you never know, because there's some people that have been canceled, but they've said like the most insignificant thing, and it's turned into a big thing that has gotten them, they've lost jobs, they've lost their platform, and it's like, some people, like I said, some people deserve it, but there's people that I feel kind of bad for, and I'm like, damn, you shouldn't have been canceled for that. I feel like people should definitely voice their opinion and definitely have you listen to what they have to say, and maybe, because you're not necessarily going to change someone's mind if they don't want to change their mind. But I feel like some people could be debated, it's not something that they need to be canceled, but there's people that have lost a lot over cancel
I just
culture.
feel like it's this era. People are just very, very sensitive,
right,
to everything.
Yeah,
and it's like, it's not that serious.
I actually saw, it was an article about some college students who were upset because there was a tampon machine removed from a men's bathroom.
It's not that serious, guys.
My question is, well, I had this question and someone actually clarified it. Was like, why is there a tampon machine in a men's bathroom, right? Like, why would a man need a tampon?
Put it up their ass.
Well,
you don't know if they're
leaking. No, but it's like,
tampons are very useful for various things.
Yeah, I guess, I've never had to use one before, but but then someone actually kind of enlightened me in a way. Was like, well, some colleges have trans men, and trans men, some of them still need this. So I understand why people were, but I don't think it was a thing to make such a big deal that it's like, oh, we're gonna go ahead and do a sit-in over a tampon machine.
Yeah.
Like, if let's say I don't want to, how do you say? I don't want to offend any trans men out there.
Or discriminate.
I know some trans men that I love dearly and people that I've gotten to meet, and they're amazing people. So no discrimination in the way. But I feel like if I was a trans man and I know that I still menstruate and I was in that time of a month, or, you know, I don't know how you guys, I'm pretty sure I've heard you guys keep track of when you guys are gonna receive.
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yeah, yes and no.
That's a topic for another day.
Yeah, yes and no.
I'm not one to speak because I don't do it, you know?
But I feel like before you were trans, you were a woman. So it's like you are well aware that you're gonna bleed. You get what I'm saying? So we come prepared. Right. Like, you know?
And not every bathroom, not every woman's bathroom has a tampon machine.
Right.
So why should, you know, that be such a big deal? But I feel like it goes back to, and not to get off topic, but it's just like, I feel like people are sensitive about a lot of things.
Like way too sensitive.
Like little things. It's like, okay, they took the tampon machine off. Now, if I have to use the bathroom or I need to, I carry my own stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like, yes, I definitely see how a lot of people are sensitive nowadays. There's a lot of things like, or now how you can't talk to certain kids, or adults can't talk to certain kids a certain way because it's like, this offends me. Yeah. Oh. And I'm like, when we were growing up, it
was called a fuetazo.
Yeah. The chancletazo.
What? Or the Rocky Balboa. Right. Like, so
I'm not condoning
violence
or hitting your kids.
Yeah, no.
But
still,
some of these kids now,
we're still alive. We made it through the Caucasus of whoop-ass.
Trust me, I have stories.
Yeah, so it's like I'm survived. I'm straight, you know.
I feel like we turned out fine, right?
Right.
But what I do admire about the new generation is I do like how outspoken that they are.
Yes, and very good business people.
Yes, they're smart.
Yeah.
They are super smart. That I'll give Gen Z, like,
they're about their money.
Yeah.
You feel me? And they start young, like 15, 6, and probably a little bit younger than that. Right. Already with businesses. It was like a 2-3 years ago with the whole hype on TikTok. You see like these kids in high school
making a lot of money. But one message I will give Gen Z kids is respect your elders. And I know that it's not all Gen Z kids. There's a lot of Gen Z kids out there that are respectful, but I've seen this, how some Gen Z kids, they disrespect adults, they're elders, and they talk to them like they're their peers. And it's like, you know, there should still be that level of respect between a young person and an adult. It doesn't mean that you're gonna let them run you or you're gonna let them, you know, walk over you. But there's a way of respectfully talking to someone like that and still getting your point across than, you know, going ham on them. And I've seen that happen in person. I've seen that happen online. I've seen it happen everywhere. And it's usually the younger generation. And my only message to them is, you guys are super smart. You guys are super outspoken. You know, you guys are going to be the next people that are going to change things. But please respect your elders.
Yes,
that's important. I feel like that's a big thing.
Yeah, and I definitely can relate. I have two. There's 5 of us, and 2 are Gen Zs. So I definitely see that, and I definitely see the struggle. And unfortunately, my mom's at an age that she had so many children that she, you know, you get tired of hitting your kids. And so there has been multiple times that I see my sister arch that little voice, and I'm already here stroking my arm saying, "Ma, I still got it." I still got it. Like, I can do it for you. Relax. Right. But again, you should never escalate to abuse.
So what are you considered, right? Now that you said that, what do you consider like acceptable? Like when is an acceptable time to spank your kids? Like you said, sometimes people, you know, you don't want to abuse your child, but what for you would be a scenario where you feel like you can use that force or that you can use that power?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean? I've had this topic with my kid, the oldest one. Right. She's coming to an age, I don't condone hitting her. I always felt like you could sit your kid down, and they do understand a conversation, and tell them like why, and maybe they understand. They're not dumb, and a conversation goes a long way.
Right.
I just feel like if you're gonna get that whoop ass, they have to do something really, really dumb.
Right.
Like really, really dumb that put their life in danger. Dumb.
For you to step in and be like, I'm gonna whoop yo.
Like, I've been waiting for this day.
My hand has been on the charging.
Like you ain't never get me lit like this before. But today's the day.
You gonna learn today.
And you gonna remember. So.
Oh, God.
But again, I don't condone hitting your kids. Like, talking goes a long way.
Right.
And it's worked out for me.
Right.
You know. And I feel like back in our time, we didn't have that option. It was hit this, hit there, hit that.
It was hit first, ask questions later.
Exactly. And I feel like that just gives trauma to kids.
It does. I feel like definitely like hitting your children, especially when they're young, if they don't quite understand why they're getting hit, it kind of later on in adulthood kind of makes you think like, oh, you do think about those things, like, you know.
Yeah.
But I feel like sometimes, and in my own, there's times that I got whoopings that I felt I deserved as a kid, because I was not an easy child all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But then as an adult, I sometimes reflect and say, did I deserve, to get hit that time? You know what I mean? Or
like that.
But so I can definitely relate to how people say, oh, I would never hit my kid because I don't want to create a trauma. But sometimes some of those people saying that them kids are the most disrespectful
badass
kids. I'm like, oh.
Badass. But I feel that even when those kids are bad as hell, you putting your hands on them doesn't it still doesn't change them. They're still bad.
Need discipline, but like, give me that iPad, give me that iPhone.
Yes.
You ain't going here, you ain't doing this. Like, those type of disciplines.
Because they're still gonna do it regardless. Right. So it's like I'd rather like not waste my energy and knocking them the hell out. And just try to make them understand the why behind it.
And I feel like Gen Z kids nowadays, taking their tablet or their phone away is like
murdering them.
I think they prefer to get hit.
Yeah.
Over giving away that tablet or that. Right.
Then you take away that phone or that tablet.
Oh yeah. Boy. That's like their lifeline nowadays. Yes. They live like all these kids. They live like this. So. Now they're forced to do the things we did in the 90s. Go outside and play. I think for them that's punishment. No.
You don't see that anymore. And it's super sad because I remember getting like around 12 years old, 13. I used to love knocking on my friend's door downstairs and telling her, we're going to ride bike.
Let's go.
And we would ride bike forever.
Right.
And then during the process, we would get a limbe.
Yeah, 25-cent limbes. Yeah, I remember those.
And then just go riding all the way to the beach. And then coming back, and then we would add like more friends along or whatever.
Right.
And that was the best time ever.
It was the best time ever.
I
rollerblading. When Brink came out, you were a soul skater.
Yes. Or like even the toys back then, Like you don't get that anymore.
No, you don't.
Like automatically now kids think, boom.
Tablet or phone.
Yeah, I'm an adult. I can talk to you as an adult. I can act like an adult because I'm an adult now. Like,
but that also stems with not all parents. I've seen some parents that still do a great job, but there's some parents that the tablet is like and I get it because a screaming child is like, do I want my kid to be screaming in this airport or in this plane, or am I gonna shove a tablet in their hands? And that could be the easy. I have no kids, so I really can't talk on that, but I feel like that whole thing where the kids are on a tablet more and more and more each time, it's like that should be limited.
The messed up part is they start from little. Like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Probably 6 months around there.
Right.
So that's the sad part because you're making them get adjusted to that lifestyle.
Right.
So they form an addiction with that. And that's why you get the kids that go freaking crazy if they don't have their phone or tablet.
Right.
I always think like people, this generation just has to look
past the tablets.
Yeah.
Like got into nature, go camping.
Yeah.
Go ride a bike, go rollerblading, like do something physical.
Abuela that sells lean bits in the corner.
Oh, those are so good. What was your favorite lean bit, by the way?
The red one, coconut.
Oh, that was a good one. I used to like the red one was one of my favorite, but I used to like the one that was made with tang. That was orangey. Yeah. Oh, but it was like those are the best.
I miss those.
Me too. I miss those 90s like summers with like water balloon fights and super soakers. Those are the best times. I feel like we had childhoods. Like we had the best times back then.
Most definitely. Yeah. Like I try to incorporate those times with my kids.
Right.
For instance, dinner time, no phone. If we're watching a family movie, no tablet, no phone. Mm-hmm. If we're out and about as a family, no tablet, no phone. Like I want you to be present. I want you to
be here. Right.
You know, and that's something that
nowadays it's rare.
It's hard and rare.
Yeah.
That people are doing it.
Yeah.
But
it is what it is. We're in a new century, Right.
So yeah.
But yeah, well, it's been fun. This has been a great little discussion we've had today. I think we touched a few topics. And for those of you watching us on YouTube, smash that like button and that subscribe. Yes. And for those of you guys listening on Spotify, on the way to work, or while you're cleaning the house,
the tea is here.
Yes.
It's coming.
Yeah.
So yeah, continue the love and support.
We really appreciate it. Yeah, we do. So again, guys, thank you for tuning in. And until next time, what's cracking?